I have some live breaking news for you. The New York Times was allowed to enter the Epstein mansion and took a bunch of photographs that I'm going to share with you. And it is absolutely fascinating. And it tells a bunch of stories. You're not going to believe the stuff that they found. So if you're interested in entering into this amazingly dark, mercurial, fascinating, unbelievably perplexing world, join in. If you don't really have the stomach for it, I don't blame you. Move on. This isn't the video for you. I want to get a couple of things out of the way first before I share with you this amazing foray into the dark underworld. JD Vance has just made a huge announcement that he is going to be engaging in and planning a Saturday Epstein strategy dinner with top officials from the Department of Justice, from the FBI, all the people that are involved, Tulsi Gabbard, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi. A lot of the left are just losing their mind and saying, uh-oh, they're panicking. This must mean that they have some kind of problems. It's not true at all. I'm sure this is all about, because I trust JD Vance. I trust my president. I trust this administration. I voted for them 3 times, President Trump rather, but I mean, you know what I mean. And I think that this is going to entail a meeting to finally just put a complete cork in this, button this Epstein thing up, finalize it for once, and release everything. I will keep you posted on that. The second news item I have to share before we move to this amazing, fantastic odyssey, if you will. Hunter Biden, former crack addict, is making some airwaves. He's got some statements that have gone completely viral saying that Trump is implicated in the Epstein files and Trump had Epstein murdered. Can you believe this? You know, I always trust a former crack addict. Their word's so reliable. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, but I had to share this because it's newsworthy and it's going viral. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. He says that the reason why Trump won't release this is because he's implicated for the offing and unaliving of Jeffrey Epstein. Give me a break. I mean, the Democrats, I can just go ahead and dispel this ridiculous crack addict's view right away by saying, why didn't you guys, you, the Hippocrats, then release all this stuff? You did everything to him. You tried to imprison him, debank him, smear him, imprison him, try him, assassinate him. You wouldn't have thrown this at the kitchen sink as well, for crying out loud? It makes absolutely no sense, but I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Okay, let's jump right into this. I have to give you fair warning. Some of the images that you're going to see and some of the information you're going to get, I just feel like it's my duty to be honorable and ethical and just give you a fair warning. Some of this stuff is pretty stomach churning. So if you're squeamish, you might not want to keep watching. If you have no problem with that and you're as fascinated as I am about this because it really tells a huge story, here we go. Here's your warning. Now's the time to leave if you don't have the stomach for it. If you're still here, let's jump right into it. Okay, right away, we have 2 images here that just absolutely, just completely mind-boggling. We have this statue, which I have a description of this statue of a young maiden seemingly coming down a tightrope, which was actually found in the open atrium when you first enter the mansion of Epstein. And then the picture on the left-hand side of your screen is the master bedroom of Epstein. You can see the colors there. We've got so much more to show you. I can't wait to show you this stuff. And this bizarre couch that's right in front. I've never seen anything like it. You can see this chair, this huge, round, oblong chair right at the foot of the master bedroom in Epstein's mansion. My imagination is running absolutely amok. Okay, some context for some of these photos, and I've got so much more to show you, so stick around. As a gift for Jeffrey Epstein's 63rd birthday, this is straight from the New York Times article, friends sent letters in tribute to the wealthy financier and convicted SCX offender. I have to kind of blurt out a few things I'm sure you understand by now if you've been following this saga with me. Otherwise, they're going to flag this video and delete it. By the way, really quickly, if you're here and this video is still up, just type a here in the comments. Please do that right now so I know you're here. Several shared a common theme, recounting the dinner gatherings that Mr. Epstein regularly hosted at his palatial townhouse in Manhattan's Upper East Side. Ehud Barak, former Prime Minister of Israel, and his wife noted the great diversity of guests. Ugh. Quote, "There is no limit to your curiosity," end quote, they wrote in their message, which was compiled with others in January 2016. Quote, "You are like a closed book to many of them, but you know everything about everyone." The media mogul Mortimer Zuckerman suggested ingredients for a meal that would reflect the culture of the mansion, a simple salad and whatever else, quote, would enhance Jeffrey's sex performance. And the director Woody Allen. So Woody Allen, there's a birthday letter from Woody Allen, who, I don't know if you saw that documentary, I sure did, that Mia Farrow released, who, you know, Woody Allen did some untoward things towards his stepdaughter, Dylan Farrow, as well as he married his stepdaughter, Sunyi Previn, still married to this day. Director Woody Allen described how the dinners reminded him of Dracula's castle, quote, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place, end quote. I mean, this is just absolute insanity. It's insanity. But Mr. Epstein's prized property was no gloomy Transylvanian fortress. He had spent years turning the 7-story, 21,000 square foot townhouse into a place where he could flaunt and deepen his connections to the rich and powerful. Even as hints of his dark side lurked within, according to previously undisclosed photos and documents showing how he lived in his later years. Since Mr. Epstein's death in the federal custody in 2019, which was ruled a offing yourself, I can't say the word or they'll bleep out the video, many mysteries about it. You can read it though, you can see it, about his life have remained unsolved. How did he amass a 9-figure fortune? And why? Why did so many powerful men continue to fraternize with him long after he became a registered sex offender? The townhouse was one of 5 properties around the world owned by Mr. Epstein after his release in 2009 from a Florida jail, where he served 13 months for soliciting, you can read the word right there, from a teenager. The mansion served, I can't say it out loud, served as a both personal hideaway and a salon where he could hold court with accomplished intellectuals, scientists, and financiers. According to legal records and interviews with people who frequented the home, the visitors considered Mr. Epstein fun, smart, and curious. Another perk, getting to mingle with the young, attractive women who roamed the property and worked as his assistants. The townhouse, a stone's throw from Central Park, was sold to Mr. Epstein in 1998 by Leslie H. Wexner, the billionaire owner of L Brands. Mr. Epstein renovated and redecorated the mansion in an eccentric style. You can say that again. Dozens of framed prosthetic eyeballs line the entryway. A sculpture of a woman wearing a bridal gown and clutching a rope was suspended in a central atrium. This is that photo that I just showed you earlier, right there. That's it. What that was describing, which is just very. It's everything dark, gloomy, ominous, and foreboding. It surpasses my darkest imagination. In the ground floor dining room, Mr. Epstein entertained a rotating cast of celebrities, academics, politicians, and businessmen. The food could be mundane, sometimes nothing more than a buffet of Chinese takeout, Mr. Allen's letter noted, but the events were anything but. Photos show that guests sat in leopard print chairs around a large rectangular table. I mean, this is straight out of Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Attendees said in interviews a magician performed. Sometimes a chalkboard was wheeled out so a guest could sketch a diagram or write a mathematical formula. Epstein preserved a map of Israel drawn on a chalkboard with Mr. Barak's signature, according to a photo reviewed. Okay, so this was taken inside the mansion. And I'm going to go through each one of these because they're highly, highly interesting. You can see there's one right in the foreground with the Pope, Noam Chomsky and his wife with Epstein. Elon Musk is even in it. So right here in that middle photo right there, in that small print, that's Elon Musk right here, which is just so intriguing to say the very least. You also see a photo with Fidel Castro. Here's something's really interesting because you see Larry Summers on the left-hand side of your screen, former President Bill Clinton, and Richard Branson in some of the photos there that are framed inside the mansion. You've also got this strange framed dollar bill that was signed by Bill Gates, and it reads, "I was wrong." What were you wrong about, Bill? By the way, just really quickly, a quick note on Bill Gates. Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates, told Gayle King that one of the big factors for her initiating divorce proceedings against her then ex-husband, Bill Gates, was his frequenting and hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Just a nice little fun fact there. This is really, really intriguing right here because you see that there's a picture, a framed picture of a laughing, smiling Sultan Prince of Saudi Arabia, MSB, Mohammed Simbadan, right there in the bottom portion of your photograph. So, I mean, the power structure, the powerful people that this guy cavorted with, it's endless. One of the more interesting facts here, in the office, according to photos reviewed, Mr. Epstein showcased a green edition of Lolita, the 1955 novel, in which an intellectual, if you've read, it's a fantastic book by Nabokov, the film's even better with Kubrick, but a green first edition of Lolita, which is about a 12-year-old girl with a professor who's way too old for him. You can read it right there. I can't say it out loud. Atop a wooden sideboard were more framed photos, including one of Mr. Epstein with Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Another flight up, on the third floor, was Mr. Epstein's sanctum, a suite that included his bedroom, the mansion's infamous massage room, and a cluster of bathrooms. I talked about this at the top of the video, that strange chair at the foot of the bed. Okay, this is really intriguing. If you look at the top of your screen right now, you will see that white circle. Enclosed in that is a hidden surveillance camera. So apparently he had hidden surveillance cameras pretty much everywhere. Several of Mr. Epstein's victims have said the mansion was outfitted with a network of hidden cameras. In the massage room were paintings of naked women, a large silver and ball and chain, and shelves stocked with lubricant, according to photos. Mr. Epstein regularly directed teenage girls, some recruited from middle schools in Queens, to massage him while he was, you can read it there. Sometimes he played with himself in front of them, according to court records and interviews with victims. Sometimes he RAPE'd them or assaulted them. No surveillance cameras were visible in the photos of the massage room. So they were probably all secret. So what this tells me, and I hope you're thinking this too, is of all the perpetrators, of all the people that Epstein trafficked to his high-profile clients, there's probably video footage of all of these people, which is why I think a lot of people are upset, including myself, that Trump is maybe a little bit too flippant about this, but not just Trump. A lot of people are flippant about this. An earlier collection of letters presented to Mr. Epstein in a leather-bound album for his 50th birthday in 2003 reflect an era of his life before he was first arrested. That book included contributions from Trump, Clinton, among dozens of others. But by 2016, as Mr. Epstein's reputation as a you-know-what became increasingly hard to ignore, his social network was shrinking. 3 years later, he would DIE, unalive himself, apparently, I don't believe it, in a Manhattan jail while awaiting prosecution on federal sex trafficking charges. This is a really interesting photo. I wanted to save this one. This is Mr. Epstein's home office, featured a taxidermed tiger. Yes, an actual tiger. You want to talk about eyes wide shut? This is out of this world. This, to me, is the most symbolic. This is what you would find in a highly, highly powerful, sick, sadistic, twisted madman billionaire who is as vicious as any movie or script could ever convey. I mean, this is straight out of Eyes Wide Shut. You know, there's just a really fun fact, a really kind of interesting twist here. There's a lot of people who actually think that Stanley Kubrick, and I'm not one of these people, but I just want to say this, speaking of Eyes Wide Shut, a lot of people, there's a lot of, and these are conspiracy theorists, obviously, but it's just kind of interesting to talk about, think that because he only died when he was 70 years old, and that's not too old. I mean, you know, for today's standards, this was 30 years ago, but even back then, and there was no signs of any sort of health issues at that time. I don't think there was anything prominent, at least. A lot of people think that the reason why Stanley Kubrick was unalived or passed was not an accident, wasn't by natural means, but had a lot to do with what he was filming about. Call me crazy, but there seems to be, I don't know, it's interesting at the very least. I'm not going to, this is all alleged, obviously. It's all conspiratorial, but it seems interesting, especially everything that we're finding out about this guy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Apparently, there were 7 birthday messages given to Mr. Epstein in 2016. In addition to those from Mr. Zuckerman, Woody Allen, Mr. Barack, there were letters from the linguist Noam Chomsky and his wife, an entrepreneur who years later would resign from MIT and the board of the New York Times Company because of his ties to Mr. Epstein, and Lawrence M. Krauss, a prominent physicist. Martin Nowak, a Harvard biologist, contributed a science-themed poem. This is the cabal of the elite. Mr. Zuckerman, Mr. Allen, Mr. Ito, Dr. Nowak, and Mr. Bandy did not respond to requests for comment, obviously. Dr. Chomsky's wife responded on his behalf and declined to comment. Dr. Krauss said he didn't recall the letter, but attended several lunches with very interesting discussions with scientists, authors, and others at Mr. Epstein's home. Okay, so he confessed a little bit. In their typed letter, Mr. Barack and his wife, Nili Priel, hailed Mr. Epstein as a, quote, a collector of people, the letter concluded. Quote, may you enjoy long and healthy life, and may all of us, your friends, enjoy your table for many more years to come. And again, Bill Gates signed that dollar bill saying I was wrong. Okay, right now I just want to go through very quickly some of the more interesting photos. There's a security camera mounted at the corner above his bed. You can see a better picture of it right there. Here you have Bill Gates' signed dollar. This is what I wanted to talk about right here. Fidel Castro, Bill Clinton, and Noam Chomsky. The Castro meeting was with Andres Pastrana, the former president of Colombia, who stands between Epstein and Castro in the photo. Also, in this same photo, there's what is Epstein doing with Fidel Castro and the former president of Colombia? Like, what? What is that all about? But also, we just discovered that Trudeau's father is in this photo. So Trudeau, the former prime minister of Canada's father, is in this photo, which is just absolutely fascinating. Here's Epstein with Bill Clinton, one of the frame photos. Noam Chomsky and his wife with Epstein. And then here's the letter from Woody Allen to Epstein, where he says that it's like a Bela Lugosi castle, where there's vampiruses serving everybody, which, I mean, he's a writer, he's an author, he's a filmmaker, he's creative, but sounds pretty accurate and very straightforward to me. Another photo of Epstein in Arabic garb. Here's that picture with him and the Crown Prince. Huge, big smile, laughing right there. Here's a close-up of that photo with Pope Francis, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein. That was in his mansion as well. The more and more we dig on this case, the more interesting it seems, the more people come out. But the real kind of crux of this entire Epstein debacle, the real purpose of releasing anything is who are the people who robbed these young people of their innocence? Remember how I said there's power? You know, I put Trump here and kind of people on that level. And then there's real power. the guy behind the guy. That's all these people. Epstein. That's all these people. And we still have no idea why a flunky Wall Street hedge guy out of nowhere became this huge, powerful mediator of huge, powerful people. Still a lot of questions. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Let me know what you think of all this stuff. If you haven't already, check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. We just posted them very recently, including that breaking news. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.